Welcome back for another episode. Last time we left off, we're going to talk to Dr. Mobius.
Hmm? Yo! Hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing, you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. Little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah, that's it. You're coming into focus nicely.
Enough, I'm here to kill you.
Oh, intriguing. I've never been killed before. Although, after that time I got that phlegmy discharge in my biogel, I wished I had been. Well, if there's going to be killing, I defer to your expertise in this matter. How should we begin? Engineering viruses, cancerratic beams, atomics, electrocutioning? Or should I summon my minions? Yes, my minions.
I'll trash them like I did your giant piece of junk downstairs. Yeah.
Oh, now you've done it. I feel a twinge of regret over that little mistake I left on. Minions, destroy this intruder! Or perhaps make it more dramatic. Minions, to me! Oh, yes, that's quite a bit better. You've made science mad!
Oh. Let's see that. Help me. Put all these. What does he have on? Turn charge pack overcharge, energy cells overcharge, fusion cells overcharge, Spanish scrap electronics, metal, cinch module, bunch of chems, and stealth boy. Take it all. And loot his robo scorpions as well. I think I must have vaporized one if I only see that one. Sec, I was standing over here, firing over there. Yeah, I probably vaporized one of them. Quick save, now is this my brain? There it is.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
This is too weird. Are you my brain?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Listen, you're my brain, so you better be more respectful.
Oh, had I? What exactly will you do if I don't? Not put me back in that cranial dungeon you call your head? Heavens forbid.
Some extra stank here, and how about that?
By all means, if the idea of spending the rest of your days as a true lobotomite appeals to you. Actually, come to think of it, you probably wouldn't mind that, would you?
How the hell did Mobius get a hold of my brain?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
That seems like a pretty unlikely coincidence.
Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
How did he manage that?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though.
Well, that's the answer is that. On to something else.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Are you my brain? Yes. Why are you such a dick?
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Hmm? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
Of course you're responsible. You're my brain.
I most certainly am not. I'm the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership. All those, feelings that motivate you, those urges to hurt people, to take and crush and maim, do you know where they come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are.
But you're the source of most of these glands, unless you're arguing that my thyroid is to blame.
Well, look, it's all a very complex system of biofeedback and other things I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Admit it, you're just as glandular as I am.
Oh, all right. Perhaps I am, but at least I'm logical about it.
Don't you want to be reunited? Thought you'd be happy to get back my head.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
Pushing those who oppose you to smell of fire, loot. But what about what are the good things? What about crushing those who oppose you to smell of fire, loot?
All motivated by nothing but an imbalance in certain brain chemicals. The tank corrects for that. I feel no urge toward antisocial behavior.
Isn't it just as true that you only feel this way because you're lacking those hormones?
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
So we're at an impasse. You can't feel what I feel and I can't think the way you think.
Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
I think we get to trust each other and acknowledge that we aren't complete if we're separated.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
So what do you say, Brain? Do you want me for some more wild adventures?
Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Let's go make them share. Come on, Brain, it's stomping time.
Oh, lovely. We've reached the mindless violence portion of the program. Tell me, what exactly are you, and I use the word loosely, planning?
Ooh, damn, don't have that. I'm gonna show them what's really the brightest thing in the room.
Oh, energy weapons, yes. I'd almost forgotten how much fun those are. How do we proceed then?
Think Tank won't hold up their bargain, we'll make them. Let's go.
Right. Look out, Think Tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the Think Tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
Your brain. brain at it. I should get my original heart back in those things. And I do like not being able to be poisoned. A lot. And there's my spine, I don't know. I'll have to look at the different bonuses, I'll figure it out. I wonder if there's any more robo-scorpions. None here, at least. Jump to the think tank. Let's go to the sink first. Where was that room? No, we can simply say that the thread will be floating. It's currently missing from both the tank and its proper place in your head, but you seem to be doing just fine without it. But you're just fine back placing the sink's auto dock. Let's see, stats, perks. What were they? Brainless. Okay, your head can no longer cripple and is resistant to addiction. +1, maximum +3. What was that other one? Spineless, I think it was. Wait, heartless. With that technology, you cannot be poisoned and filtered in your heart will also regulate bleeding and healing, allowing all healing items chemicals to function at a higher level. Robots are not confused. That's nice. Spineless. Doors can no longer cripple in your strength and damage threshold DT have been increased by 1. Quick save.
You require some additional services?
Engage your services. Yep. Initiate. Swap body parts. Reattach your spine. Your torso can now be crippled again by your strength and damage threshold have been doubled. I think I'll keep that. Save again. Let's
you require some additional services?
Yep. Swap body parts. Replace your heart. You're less resistant to poison percent and robots are only somewhat confused by you. But on the bright side, healing items chems are twice as effective. Healing items are more effective. Robots I'm not too worried about. I think my natural poison resistance is pretty high anyway. Stats, wait, items, armor, wait, general, no, I wish I'd said my poison resistance, special skills, I'll stay like this for now, quick save. Now let's go meet the think tank. Talk Clown Waits to make sure you're prepared to finish this once and for all. Yep, I am.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
Alright, Brandon, now you're not gonna sell things. Botanical. Notice the pacification field is down. Guess what happens now?
A fight? I've never been in a fight. What do I've... Ah! Colleagues! Think tank! Alert! Alert! We are under attack!
Ha 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 ha.
Firing brainial beams and my spectrum.
Leave the think tank. Let's loot these guys up. A bunch of electron charge packs. Basically, energy cell ammo. Parts. Make this See, more of the same. You sell more of the same. Which they all seem to have the same thing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep, I got them all. Just leave the think tank.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the most powerful minds of the 23rd century. The courier who had been brought to the Big Empty became its new overlord, using its facilities ruthlessly and decisively when needed. Sometimes, science is more than a quest for discovery. It is a weapon to be used in the service of one with the strength to understand it.
The Sync Central Intelligence Unit was impressed by the amount of exploration the courier had undertaken. Facilities believed lost, destroyed, or ones that had simply gotten up and walked to new locations had been rediscovered by its intrepid new master. Internally, the artificial personality debated as to whether it preferred the old management to the new, and concluded that the courier's thorough approach to research and investigation was admirable and worthy of its respect.
The Forbidden Zone continued to be, true to its name, forbidden. No more robo-scorpions were sighted in its canyons. Big Mountain became even emptier, devoid of Dr. Mobius's proclamations forecasting the destruction of anything that dared possess sentience. Still, it is said he lived on in the equations inscribed on the floor and walls of the Forbidden Zone dome. But these equations were nothing more than thin white traceries of lines, not unlike cobwebs in the corners of a failing mind.
The Sync atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The Sync continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. It learned several new murderous techniques from the courier and built a blood shrine to itself in the cuckoo's nest. The cave floor was soon filled with the horror of 100 gutted toasters, a silent, grisly, unplugged audience. Their purpose? To toast bread, unfulfilled.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names once too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after the stealth suit had left it without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
I'm guessing it's Roxy and Rex. And a litter of robotic puppies.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
The think tank basement, filled with the lobotomized robotical frames of the doctors, now served as a graveyard. The monitors had recorded the battle in its entirety, including the think tank's final, shrill, terrified screams, whimpers, and pleas for mercy. They broadcast these humiliating last moments as a warning to anyone approaching the perimeter that other smarty pants were not welcome. The courier was the inheritor of the Big Empty, and there was room for only one will in the halls of the think tank dome.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries, to come.
The Big Empty lived up to its name. A hollow crater of failures of a past era. A last sad statement of the old world.
In the time following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, Old World Blues became more than a catchphrase.
It became a reality, a withering form of nostalgia for times long past.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, it was all this and more. Old world blues, new world misery. The two became one in the courier's shadow.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Gain the big brain perk. Your head still cannot be crippled, but you are 10% more to addiction now. Surprisingly, your damage to soul has improved by 10%. Nice.
Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
Bone disconnected.
Nice. Level up too. 4 points into melee weapons. And what perk should I pick now? More action, boy? High damage potential against melee weapons and number attacks, and you cannot be knocked down. It's nice. Terrifying presence. Eat mutated insects. Strength damage are wearing pre-war suits. Math Wrath. Nice, I'll take that.
No bones connected.
Let's store everything. I'll come backwards soon. But I'm actually gonna cut out here for a sec, because there's probably still a few things I missed around, and it's probably gonna be a lot of me running around trying to find stuff and finding nothing. So I'll cut back when I actually find anything interesting that I missed. Be right back. In the Lightwave Research Plant, I missed this. Energy Weapon Skill Book Recipe. Loaded everything else now to continue searching. Ugh, missed another one in House 00. Right here, Repair Skill Book. Continue my search. Can't believe I missed this as well, but it's sort of small. Dr. Klein's glasses. And might as well use this to create some stim packs. There we go, 5 added. And continue the search. And here we are back at my hideout after I managed to unload everything. There's the antenna, that's the K9000, it's the Fido, its upgraded version. Lodge's Lear, Christine's sniper rifle, that's the sonic emitter and just a glove. Here, there's Dr. Klein's glove, Mobius's corrosive glove, scientist glove, Saturnite fist, heated Saturnite fist, proton axe, throwing proton axe, and proton and versatile axe, and then versatile throwing one axe. So that's it. I guess now all we have left is the final DLC. But next episode, we're going to explore a bit more of the world. So if you like this episode, like and subscribe. If not, don't. But see you next episode, hopefully.